guys, welcome to my channel, and today we are doing a Star Stable Online training while reading K-pop unpopular opinions. A lot of people who are watching this might not know, but years ago this channel used to be a channel where I did post Star Stable stuff, and I unfortunately deleted all of it, and I'm extremely mad at myself for that, for not at least saving it, putting it on private. But and one thing to note, it's been a couple of years since I was on Star Stable. It's only been a couple weeks since I got back into it and got a few horses and stuff like that. So a lot of things are new to me, and so I hope to kind of explore the new stuff around SSO. Unpopular opinion. I think Cat's Eye should start distancing themselves away from K-pop, like them performing at Mama and collabs on with these idols are cute, but makes them seem more like a K-pop group than just a Western group. It might hurt their image in the long run. Honestly, I get where this person is coming from, but I don't exactly agree with them. I think it's cute in the concept of they did train in the K-pop ideology way. I think it's just more on lack of people doing their own research that's gonna hurt them in the long run. I think it's more in that aspect than other people's lack of research. Ugh. Oh my god. I did not expect that, honestly. Unpopular opinion, but most K-pop idols are kind of bad at being soloist, and it's more beneficial for them to stay in their group. I don't agree with this. I think it depends on who you're talking about. Because especially in the second gen and third gen, a lot of idols are soloists, and a lot of them are really good at it. I think some idols definitely don't have what it takes to be a soloist. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. Yeah, no, some of them aren't that great at being soloists, but a lot of them do, and I think it is able to show their creativity away from the group and having their own identity as well, and not just from the group that they're in. Unpopular opinion, but K-pop fans should have significantly less influence on their group. I agree with this. It's pretty tragic to see groups not expanding or doing what they want to do because of fans' choices and possible hate from it. I think a lot of people are just too rude about different things, and K-pop idols even having their own life. I think that's another problem, is that not most K-pop idols can't seem to just have their own life outside of their job, and that sucks. We just need to be nicer, okay? We just need to be nicer to them. How long is this race? I just completely missed that. Oh my god. Okay. Embarrassing. If I'm not, like, reading the unpopular opinions while racing, I am still trying to figure out how to multitask that. Anyways, unpopular opinion, certain fandoms always dragging Asia over US when GP in US doesn't care about K-pop at all. It's funny to me, K-pop relies on Chinese bars for physical sales, release Japanese albums to break into one of the biggest markets. 70% of their concerts revenue comes from Asian countries and depends on Korea for longevity and endorsements. Plus, there's 70% Spotify and YouTube streams also come from Asian countries. I get where this person's coming from, but at the same time, I'm gonna be honest, I think this is a stretch. Just because if we look at the timeline and K-pop's history, yes, in the 90s and early 2000s, specifically the 90s, yes, they relied on the Chinese market for a lot of their revenue, but then BoA broke into the Japanese market, and that helped launch K-pop into one of the biggest music markets. But America is one of the largest music markets next to Japan, so a lot of artists do try to break into it just because it does bring in a lot of revenue. And if K-pop were to somehow become less popular in America, it would impact their sales and streams as well. Yes, a lot of their streams and sales do come from Asia, but we also do have to see the benefits of the American market and what it's done for K-pop as a whole. But people dragging Asia, it's pretty crazy. I think those people don't know the history of K-pop and how far it's come. Firstly, the way people assume all dancers should be dancing one specific way is stupid, and K-pop fans piss me off with that shit. Secondly, the way y'all turn on Kai over one song when he has one of the best third-gen solo discographies is a ... choice. I don't really listen to Kai, so that's... But he is one of the best soloists out... Oh god, why did I... Sorry, oopsie. I don't know what I was doing there. He does have one of the best discographies when it comes to soloist. But I do agree with the assuming all dancers should dance specifically. It's the fact that, like, everybody moves differently. Everybody is also trained differently. On top of that, I think it's different when you're shooting, like, a duo. Ooh, hello? Okay. Okay. I think it's different when you're shooting, like, a duo or a solo dance. But if you're in like a group dance and you're not synced specifically with everyone else, I'm not talking about like timing, I'm talking about the way your dancing is, and so it looks unsynced with the rest of the group. It makes the dance number look messy. I think that's when it becomes a problem specifically, but it would be nice if more people realized that not everybody's gonna move the same way. Okay. K-pop stans are openly hating on New Jeans now, have always secretly been envious of their immense success and possibly left threatened. Ooh. They don't have a proper reason back then to hate on the girls, so they're using the situation to let their anger out. I'm sorry. I'm right near the tree while trying to read. Honestly, I think hating on New Jeans is kind of dumb. I've never really been into New Jeans, but I do think the situation in above itself is just pretty... It's a messy, sticky situation on their end, and this is coming from somebody who is in the same age group as them. I don't think they really quite understand what they're doing. And how much this actually can hurt their image on top of that. But I don't think hating on them is the proper way to go, respectfully. But unfortunately, that's what's gonna happen when you're in the industry. Unpopular opinion, and it doesn't only apply to K-pop, but I don't like English versions of songs when originally the song is in a different language. The English version always sounds so bad. I do agree with this person. To an extent, though, there are some English versions of not just K-pop songs, but yeah, other songs in different languages that do sound good in English. I think it's because those people tend to be very fluent or extremely fluent in English, so the song sounds good. I think when the person can't really speak English, it tends to come off as very hard to understand. No hate to people who aren't that, don't speak English that well. But I think it does come off kind of hard to understand or just a little sloppy. But I also think depending on what it is, like, no hate to TXT, but their song Cat and Dog, it's an interesting song when it's in English. But when it's in Korean, it's like, okay, yeah, whatever, I can vibe to this. No hate to the English version, though. You can vibe to the English version, too. I just think the English version is just really, just kind of fun to listen to, in a sense, if you get what I mean. Oh, God. Come on, come on. Hello? Okay. Oh, shit. Thought I was stuck there for a minute. Unpopular opinion, but consumerism, especially in K-pop, should never be defended or classified as just quote unquote having fun. It's a massive issue we should address more often. I actually do agree to, depending on what type of consumerism you're doing. Like, I think if you're buying like 200 plus albums to get a fan call, that is pretty dumb. Like, maybe it's just because I bet it all on like just sheer luck, but also like the fact that you have that much money to do that, and like what do you do with all 200 albums afterwards? Like, do you sell them? Do you keep them? It's like, why would you need that many of one version, you know? But as somebody who collects K-pop albums, anime stuff, vinyls, etc., I think collecting the things that you like it's not a bad thing. It just becomes an issue when you're buying it because it's popular, or you're buying it like over, again, like 100 plus albums. That's, I think, when it becomes concerning. I would say, like, maybe if you're seeing something your idol is wearing and you want it, but I think there's a difference between getting inspiration and then the consumerism part of things. My most unpopular K-pop opinion is I don't give a fuck if people buy millions of albums or get a million fan calls or hello? Okay. That's... I thought I could do that while reading, and apparently not, and I'm gonna miss, yep, okay. I don't give a fuck if people buy a million albums or get a million fan calls or go to every stop on a tour to fly to other countries to see an artist live. See, I don't agree with this, but I mean, you know, an opinion's an opinion. If it doesn't bother you, then I think, you know, that's okay. I just think it's unfair to people who, when somebody gets to have a fan call with an idol like over 20 times, but somebody who's been trying to get a fan call for a couple of years doesn't get a single one. I think it's unfair to a lot of people who haven't had that opportunity. I don't care about the going to every tour stop. If I could, I would too. There's so many people I want to see. I think the difference is when you're being a creep and a stalker, or, you know, a Sauce Sane fan. I think that's when it becomes concerning. Then, yeah, maybe don't go to every tour stop. Buying a million albums, again, if you're buying albums in bulk, I think that's a problem. But as somebody who owns like a good combination between me and my sister, we probably have over like 60 albums to like combined. So I don't really see the problem in that. But again, buying in bulk is where it gets a little crazy. Unpopular and harsh opinion. Second gen of K-pop was mid, and y'all can't accept that. I don't agree with that, but that's probably because I am, in fact, a K-pop stan who does. Sorry. I do prefer the older generation, specifically older 4th gen and down. And 2nd gen is one of my favorite generations. I mean, you know, I'm a firm believer that everybody has their own different taste in music, so we can't really judge people on that. Just because you like something doesn't mean everybody else is gonna like something. But it makes me wonder, possibly what this person might like. I don't want to do that, actually. No, scratch that. I don't care about what that person likes. It just makes me curious why the person thinks that. Why would they think it's mid? Just to kind of get their opinion on things. Unpopular opinion, I'm so tired of K-pop stans, old gen complex. Like, we get it, you miss old things, but there is no way first gen is better than fourth or fifth. I actually think first gen is better than fourth or fifth. I think K-pop honestly has fallen off in a couple of years, in my opinion. Though I do agree with the fact that when people don't tend to branch out in music because they're stuck in like the old times, I think that kind of does put a damper on things. Sorry if there's a lot of lagging. This is the Nightstar server, and as a lot of you may know, Nightstar has a lot of lagging. And I mean a lot. Yeah, but I think once people start yearning for the old stuff, that's when it becomes a little bit of an issue, because it doesn't help artists expand when people are stuck in the old ways. Oh my god, it's bad. It's lagging so bad right now. And I thought doing like a more nighttime would be better because it's a school night for people. But I guess not. Popular opinion that will get me canceled: groups need to stop labeling themselves as BTS's sisters and brothers. I don't think... See, to me, it seems more like the media labels the groups and not the groups themselves. I think we should call out the media for that and not the groups. But I do agree with that. I think that, groups, they have their own personalities and their own image, and then when you're using another group or another celebrity for that image, it becomes an issue in above itself. It's kind of, it, I think, puts like a dent on a celebrity's image, because then that's all people will ever know you for. And if you have people who are attached to that group or that celebrity, they'll be like, well, this person isn't this celebrity, like they could never be that celebrity. I think it really makes people start to hate that group or that celebrity themselves, which does tarnish their image. So I do agree with that. Unpopular opinion, I don't give a fuck about lip syncing, LMAO. Sometimes it's necessary for a variety of reasons, but y'all are too dense to understand that. I agree to a certain extent. I don't really care about lip syncing if it's for like a video or I think it's different if it's like a concert. People, oh my god. People spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to come watch somebody sing live, and I think if you're not singing live, it kind of it's a waste of money, honestly. But if it's just for like a video, I don't really think it matters. Just because, well, people aren't paying to watch it. K-pop isn't fun anymore when lots of K-pop stands being so obsessed with views, sales, streams, etc. I do agree with that, actually. I remember when it used to be fun to just stay up late and stream this song, but I think now when people are like, oh, well, this group did this before this group, or they beat this group with this, and it's like, why do we care so much who beats who? Like, okay, can we just appreciate our idols' hard work and what they have to offer for us? Like, I think that defeats the purpose of their hard work and what they've poured into their project when it's only just chopped down to how much sales can they make off of one thing. Will we get there? Unpopular opinion, but 90% of K-pop fans nowadays are obsessed with getting VIP tickets. You don't have to always spend $1,000 on a concert ticket just to buy cheap seats. I don't agree with that. It's not just K-pop. I'll just put it out there. As somebody who doesn't really get the opportunity to go to concerts, and when I have gone to two, it was seats further up. I would love to get closer seats to concerts, just because I think it's really cool to see your favorite artist up close. So I don't think there's anything wrong with being obsessed, but I think if you can't get the seats that you want, then yeah, there's nothing wrong with being further from the stage. I think when you start making it like your whole personality, or you take out your anger for not getting closer seats on the people around you, I think that's when it becomes a problem. But I don't think there's anything wrong with people wanting to get closer seats, if you would call it obsession, I guess. Ooh, okay. Oh, gosh. Yeah, I saw that coming, too. I knew I was gonna... Unpopular opinion. No 4th gen group will... Oh my god, Okay. Unpopular opinion. No 4th gen group will ever struggle the way BTS struggled to make a name for themselves, because BTS paved the way for K-pop to have it easier. I agree with that, actually. To an extent, though, there are smaller 4th gen groups that do have to climb their way up to get the same treatment or visibility as other artists like ITZY and aespa and New Jeans. What other groups are there? Oh, TXT is another one, and Hyphen. Oh my god, can I not control this horse? But yeah, because of BTS, they were able to pave that way for the next generation to not exactly have to struggle the way they struggled. But again, of course, there are smaller groups that do have to climb their way up the same way that BTS had to climb their way up. So it all depends if you're talking about the smaller groups or like big name groups. I think that's where you gamble on things. This may be the most controversial and popular K-pop opinion, but I generally do not care when boy groups are more masculine when dancing to girl group songs. I really don't think it's as deep as some y'all make it. That's true, actually. I think a lot of people make it more deep than it really is. It's not that big of a deal. There are much bigger problems in the K-pop industry than how somebody dances. I don't really think we should expect male K-pop idols to... Sorry, I was gonna say male dancers, but they're not just dancers. Male K-pop idols to know how to dance femme, as a lot of guys don't learn how to move their hips when they're dancing, which is pretty normal. And yeah, obviously female idols tend to move their hips more because that's just in general very common in the dance world. Guys tend to learn the more masculine dances, and women tend to have a more flowy style with their dances. That's just pretty normal, and we shouldn't expect that for K-pop idols to dance a certain way, especially like the female idols are gonna make the male idol dances look more femme, and that's okay. I think it does show how you can make a dance into a different style and how any gender can do the dance as well. Breaking my silence. Blackpink is the most overrated group in K-pop. Their lyrics are bad, and most of their achievements are due to their collaborations. Their fans drag other idols every day, and if you respond, they become the victim. Honestly, I agree to an extent, just because I guess you could say used to be a Blink or am a Blink. I'm not like head over heels for Blackpink as I like used to be. Like, I would love to go to a Blackpink concert years ago, but now it's like, I don't really think I want to go. Oops. Honestly, I think Blackpink, in a way, they're, how do I put it? I don't think they're overrated. I just think they kind of had a easier route to success, being that they are in YG, and they were the first girl group in YG to debut after 7 years, after 21, which was considered a huge deal. But I think their hype isn't what it's made out to be. Not saying that they're bad or anything, but I think they've definitely dropped off in the last few years, and YG just wasn't utilizing their talents and their skills either, and I think that's where it became an issue in above itself, which is why I'm glad the girls have gone on their own paths. Which the next one is unpopular opinion. Jennie and Rosé have the best solo career and nobody comes close to them in the entire K-pop. See, I thought this was gonna be like the best solo career among the members of Blackpink, but saying they're the best in K-pop is a stretch. I do not believe they have the best solo careers in the entirety of K-pop. There are much better solo artists than them. Sorry. Especially with the fact that I don't think they're... I'm glad that they've gone their own ways and we get to see their creativity and more of them, but they're not the strongest sololy either. Unpopular opinion, but all K-pop members should be allowed to have their own, oh, that was actually terrible, their own identities and independent careers alongside their work with their group. I agree with that. Seriously, I'm so bad at this. What the? Anyways, I don't think y'all hear how aggressively I'm hitting the spacebar. No, I agree though. I 100% agree. I love seeing the individuality that group members have to offer with their own solo projects and how they can have such different taste and then proceed to come together as a group is crazy. We're just gonna do it that way. I shouldn't be going as fast when doing these. I think that's what messes me up. Unpopular opinion, majority, 90% of these K-pop fans have no understanding about what is pen game. Since they only focus on melody, the MV sets and shining dazzling outfits, hence no need to argue with someone who can't comprehend the lyrics and true art of music. I think it's not just K-pop in general, but obviously because this is a K-pop opinion, you know. But I do agree. I think people do lack comprehension of lyrics and really seeing the beauty behind the art that music has to offer, which is upsetting because, girl, some of those lyrics hit hard, honestly. Which is why I think ballad music is, in my opinion, one of the greatest genres. They hit hard. Ballad hate in K-pop wouldn't be so strong. Companies, I'm sorry, I can't speak today apparently. Companies don't use them as album filters that literally all sound the same. No matter what group releases it, always generic and boring, with the same corny letters to fans formula nobody gives a fuck about. As a fan, I want a good song, not this. No, I agree. I think in general, ballad music in K-pop has always just never been a popular thing. We can see that with like IU and her debut. I believe IU's actually the reason ballad music became more of a thing in K-pop. But I think it depends what group or soloist you're listening to, because, or bands. You know, I'm saying that because The Rose makes such good ballad music, and the lyrics, girl, they're so good. But I do think a lot of companies lack being able to make good ballad songs, especially the whole fan letters. It is true. It's pretty generic, and it's unpopular K-pop opinion is that me being a multi and not caring about... Oh, wait, where am I going? I know where I'm going. Do I? Yeah, I know where I'm going. Me being a multi and not caring about streams does in fact make me better than you, because I can enjoy music for the art and not be miserable all the time. As a multi, I do agree with this. Now, I'm not gonna be like, oh, I'm better than you. What? I literally, okay. I'm not gonna, like, yeah, I'm not gonna be like, well, I'm better than you, because that's just a very rude mentality, in my opinion. But, yeah, I never really cared about streams, and I love music for the art, and not, you know, I think just chopping it down to the streams is what kind of makes some people get bored of what music has to offer. Okay, well, am I supposed to avoid that? No. It's been so long since I've done this. Oh my god. Okay. Yep. On this episode of Watch Me Mess Up Every Race. You ever just feel like some races are just too, oh, hello, too long? Because I do. JY people never have a new twice, no matter how many times he tries to ignore twice and give them shit treatment and spend all their money on some rookies. They will never be twice. Is JYP actually doing that? Well, it's JYP. I actually could imagine him doing that. I agree, though. Kind of like how YG was pretty much trying to make like a new 21 with Blackpink, but quote-unquote a prettier version of 21. Twice is iconic. That's just it. Twice is iconic, and there will never be another Twice. I think that's kind of the end of it there. You get it, you know? Oh god, okay. Why is it always this? I can never do this one right. Oh, okay. Unpopular opinion, but I think seats are literally better to enjoy a show. Taking floor seats seems like such an overwhelming experience, especially in K-pop concerts, because everyone wants their damn barricade. And I get it, but at the same time, no. I agree. I get it, but at the same time, I don't. Just because I feel like sometimes if you get floor, doesn't mean there's always going to be seats there. And it's like, why? Like, I can stand for 2 hours, but at the same time, you know, being able to sit during like intermissions would be nice. The only thing that doesn't make sense to me is like when I went to an ENHYPEN concert a couple of years back. I was on the 3rd floor. And if you've been on the 3rd floor, you know how high, and the fact that you're also at an angle too. So it feels very uneasy to be standing, and there were these 2 girls who were around my age. They were sitting in front of my mom and another obvious mother of another child, and they were standing the entire time. Everyone else was sitting, because again, you're on the 3rd floor and there's an incline, and they just did not care about the people around them, apparently. I mean, the girl sitting in front of my mom had acknowledged it for maybe one song, but the rest of the time she was just up and about. So like, if you wanted to stand the entire time, why didn't you get tickets that were much closer to the stage? But at the same time, it was very, very rude for my mom and the other woman next to my mom, and probably some of the people behind them, maybe. My mom had actually, she ended up getting up and standing at the top of the, so I mean, I guess if you want to stand the entire time, then yeah, like, get your floor seats. But I think if you're getting seats that are on like the second or third floor, then you probably shouldn't be standing, because most people don't stand when they're that high up. So I get where this person is coming from. I would just like, I've never had floor seats. I would like to experience it at least once or twice, but oh my god, I hate these. Okay. I'm not gonna make it, and that's gonna be the best part about it. Yep. Anyways, that's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have other suggestions on training videos or other SSO videos that you want to see, leave a comment down below. Or if you have any unpopular opinions yourself, leave that down below. I hope you guys have a nice day or night. See you in the next video. Bye!